is insanely rare that on this program we hear about a child or anyone, for that matter, that's been abducted or missing that pops back up as being alive. This happened, and that's great news. 9-year-old Charlotte Sena, you've been following this case, has been rescued from her kidnapper's camper. So let's dive into this fine individual who thought it appropriate to abduct a 9-year-old and bring her into his camper. The revelation brought to light the tireless efforts of the New York State Police and the resilience of a family. 9-year-old Charlotte Sena was found safe and sound after a harrowing 48-hour search. The young girl vanished from Moreau Lake State Park in Gansevoort, New York, an event that promoted an all-out manhunt for an outpouring of community support. Late on Monday, a statement from the New York State Police confirmed Charlotte Sena has been located and in good health. Governor Kathy Hochul, evidently relieved, expressed her gratitude to the authorities for the relentless search and to the larger community for their unwavering support, stating extremely grateful at New York State Police and New York State Park Police and all of our partners who worked tirelessly to locate Charlotte. The recovery was no less than a feat of detective work. After the child's parents received a ransom note at their residence, it became clear that this was no ordinary missing child case. The note bore fingerprints that fortuitously were already in the law enforcement's database. So this is a real wise person who did this. As Governor Hochul explained, these prints were linked to a prior DWI case from 1999 in Saratoga, leading investigators on a trail that culminated at the home of Craig Nelson Ross Jr., a 47-year-old resident of the area. What ensued was akin to scenes from a thriller. By 6:32 p.m. on Monday, law enforcement surrounded the suspect's camper, where Charlotte was finally discovered, concealed inside a cabinet. In a poignant recount, Governor Hochul noted she knew that she was being rescued. She knew that she was in safe hands. Craig Nelson Ross Jr. is now in custody, charged with first-degree kidnapping, and investigators are probing deeper into the case. It's noteworthy that Ross Jr. lived merely 2 miles from the Sena family, although it remains uncertain if he had been surveilling Charlotte or if the kidnapping was an act of random predation. In initial days following Charlotte's disappearance, they were tense as she went missing during a solo bike ride. Her family and other campers frantically searched the vicinity, joined soon by the state police. As Governor Hochul recounted, Charlotte did a couple of loops with close friends. She considered her cousins, and then she decided to go around one more time by herself. But within a brief span, Charlotte vanished. Her abandoned bike was later found, but details about its discoverer remain unclear. In the wake of this traumatic event, the Sena family has been thrust into the spotlight. While they've solicited privacy during this trying period, they did convey their heartfelt gratitude. A statement by Charlotte's family eloquently encapsulates their emotions. A huge thank you to the FBI, the New York State Police, and the hundreds of volunteers who supported us and worked tirelessly to bring Charlotte home. Governor Hochul, reflecting on the dramatic rescue, encapsulated the sentiments of many. Often these stories don't end up like this. She then extended her gratitude to everyone. Support has poured in from all quarters, including GoFundMe, a page set up by Charlotte's aunt to aid the Sena family in navigating the unforeseen challenges that lie ahead. The campaign's description reads poignantly, any donations will go directly to her parents to help with any expenses while they transition back into some sense of normalcy. So that's where that's at. There should be like a send a therapist page rather than just cash. It should be go fund a therapist for me.com, because I think that would probably be needed more than just a bunch of cash right now. Maybe it's just me. I don't know that I'm going to suddenly have a ton of expenses when my missing child is found in 48 hours. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
You might. Alcohol would be one thing I might rely heavily on.
Go fund the alcohol of the family.
What? But 48 hours.
Yeah.
You know these parents were thinking absolute worst. Who knows what this creep did to her in that time frame?
Yeah.
What she's going to be going through. And part of me wants to know, sadly, what the fuck was he going to do with her? Was this just to get money? And it was a ransom deal, or did he have some horrific thing planned?
Well, judging by the looks of him, I'm going to guess murder and molestation. That's just, he seems to exude that sort of look. He looks like the type of guy who would probably murder and molest people. He just has that look about him.
And that's exactly what I sent the story to you. And in the subject line, I said, ew.
Yeah. There should be like a law out there where, like, if you walk around like this in society, you can just be arrested for reason at any time, and we can investigate you at great length because the likelihood of finding something bad is going to be very, very high.
I don't think hygiene is high on his list. I don't think his appearance, and not that appearances are everything, but he looks like it's been a while since he gave a shit about himself.
Yeah. This looks like, you're person who doesn't give a shit about anything at all, without a doubt. So we'll see where this leads. Since he didn't kill her, we don't know about what actually went on. One can only hope that there is strong justice for this, but it's scary. I mean, I have kids. I have an 11-year-old. I don't let her go out, anywhere alone yet, until she's a bit older. And it sounds like, they were out in the camping area. She was with her cousins. They were going around, and then probably unbeknownst to parents, I'm guessing, she's like, I'm just going to go one more time. That's how kids are. And
that's what kids do.
And you think it's fine. And and it's just terrifying. I cannot imagine being those parents. I don't know if I would still, I think I'd have a heart attack, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I think the stress of it would be miraculous to see if I survived any sort of period of time. And I'm not saying I would harm myself or anything like that. I just think I would have an aneurysm or something would take place that I would just be out because of the stress like that. It would just be ultimately too horrific, I think, to process. But I can't imagine how happy they are that she's back. But now what happened in those 48 hours and what are they going to have to work through as a family remains to be unseen.
I can't imagine, she's going to be afraid to be alone. She's going to be probably afraid out in public even. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a kid who is going to want to literally be tied to her parents for safety with a leash, you know? Just awful. Yeah,
absolutely horrific. But thank God, found alive. That's not a phrase we say very often here.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.